Is it an upgrade? I don't think so. Uh, to be blunt, I don't think it's an upgrade. Um, it might be. I mean, it might be the right change in terms of getting a more unified message to the players and having a clearer sense across the on that side of the ball, a clearer sense of leadership and who's the boss and all of these things. That part might be straightened out more. As Buck said, the credibility factor here is probably the biggest piece. Coming in and again being able to flash a national championship ring, uh, doing different things that just a different voice. As we've talked about, the biggest problem that they've had is buy-in and having a very clear, unified vision that all these players have bought into and are playing like their hair's on fire. Whoever can get that done is going to get a better defensive performance than what Carolina got the last couple of years. But I still think that's more systemic across both sides of the ball than it is on the defense. You're just going to have to find somebody on the defensive side that can do it. Can Chizik do that? Well, I think we saw that when he came to Chapel Hill before, he got guys to buy into what he was selling. So if he can do that again, then you're going to see improvement. But as far as an upgrade, I don't think that this exchange of coaches is what I would call a clear upgrade. That you're exchanging one guy who isn't as good a coordinator for another guy who's a way better coordinator. Whatever. I just don't think that's what you see here.
Well, unlike Jason, I do definitely feel like it's an upgrade over what North Carolina had, or at least what the production on the field. It'll be an upgrade over what we've seen statistically and defensively. And Jason's right in some ways in the sense that what you're going to get out of Gene Chizik is Gene Chizik. I mean, that's who he is. He's a guy who is never going to be in zero coverage and blitz somebody. That ain't going to happen. He's always going to have at least one deep safety whenever he blitzes, and blitzes aren't going to be the norm. They'll be the exception instead of blitzing all the time, which nobody blitzes all the time anyway, or few people do. So, what we're going to get to see is a lot of what we've seen before from Gene Chizik, but all the things we talked about in terms of how it could look different on the field are valid. Different level of talent, more depth. He can keep his defense fresher. These are things that, and plus, like the defensive line, and really across the defense, the level of player on the field is going to be different than what he saw in 2015. He's got his ways and his methods, and there's going to be times when I'm going to chime in with other people saying, I'm not a fan of watching this. It just hurts the eyes sometimes. But he's got his ways, and he cut the scoring defense from 39 points a game in 2014 down to 24. That's 2 touchdowns a game. And in a year where offensively they may not be as powerful as they've been the last 3 years with Sam Howell, might be a good thing to have a defense that gives up 2 less touchdowns a game, if you can get away with it, if you can put that on the field. So I think that this is a good combination for UNC at this particular time. You're entering into a time period where you've got some really talented players that are growing up. Some of the best defensive players are now in their third year, some in the second year. And a guy that's going to benefit from all that talent is Chizik.